I feel like I want to go out and meet someone.
We both look terrible.
That's why I've got my shades on.
You've got your stupid shades. What's happened to my hair? I've had no time. Oh, you look nice with that. I love you. You know I love you.
I love you too. But can we love 4 other people at the same time? That's the question of Wanderlust.
We are literally in this state of loving and hugging because we are utterly traumatised by the latest episode of Wanderlust. It was the worst bloody thing I've seen all year.
Can I just say, this isn't about being lily-livered. It's not about being a bit sort of prudish. It's not about any of that. It's about plain old, fashioned crap.
It was crap.
It was
People
crap.
don't talk to each other like that.
People don't talk like this. I tell you the thing that's getting me... I just said this to Maddie when we'd seen it. I said, the thing I'm hating about this so much, it's so fucking middle class, and I'm middle class.
We said,
I hate
maybe
it.
We're like them and we don't realise. That would be so
I'm beginning to worry. I'm morphing into him.
Not the actors, the characters. Really want to underline that. The actors are acting their socks off and doing a really good job. But it is woefully misguided in its writing for me this
Well, I just think the concept's misguided. And I keep hoping and willing that it's going to turn around and showcase that we all think we want some sexual freedom. We all think we want some sexual...
Well, that is what it did towards the end.
Yeah, but it's doing it in such a long-winded... It's like an 85-point turn that it's taking to do it. Meanwhile, you've got every hackneyed cliche in the book coming at us. It started with them all 4 walking into a bar with such a sense of self-preening love of themselves.
Oh, we're all so wonderful, we're married, but we're having sex outside our marriage and it's all fantastic. Which is... do you know what? I don't disagree with that. If some people want to live their life like that, that's absolutely up to them. And if it works, fantastic. But in the playing of these characters, it's completely unbelievable.
No, they were in a nightclub having a conversation that was utterly unbelievable about having a baby.
Yeah, I was cringing.
The guys were at the bar having a conversation about... I mean, that irritating twat of a Shoreditch dude next to Stephen McIntosh. Oh, I just want to twat him round their head. And, then they're all walking... Little touches like this really make my right armpit sweat, which is a sign of pure embarrassment.
We were so embarrassed we were sweating under one armpit.
They were walking home with bags of chips, clearly freshly given to them by the director.
By design.
No, I know, but just awful. The director will have called that and said, yeah, let them all have... Then they look through a window of what looked like a lounge and they go in and do karaoke in a working men's pub.
Come on.
Fucking real.
And just before it started, I actually turned to Mark and went, oh my God, another hour of hell.
And this isn't about some people will say, yeah, but it's caricature and it's being created. Look, go to Patrick Morris.
It's not enough of a caricature.
I know, but I totally get a show that is sort of satirising a world and sort of goes a little bit sort of almost, too extreme and sort of, what's it called when you get those drawings that are caricatures? It caricatures the world. I get that. I get caricature. But this doesn't have the courage to caricature well. And then it just, little moments like every time they have a sort of a moment of what's that?
Cooker. Carry on.
Every time they have a moment of sort of indiscretion with someone else, so there's a third party or a fourth party in their relationship, they predictably go back to the kitchen and start snogging again like it's revitalised their sex life. It's just... That is so old hack.
It's got to the point now where every time they look at each other, where there's a look for longer than 2 seconds, I say to Mark, visually fast forward, they're going to have sex or they're going to have a moment with each other, and it repulses us.
I mean,
now,
it really does.
Now, just before we go any further, just in case people check out of this review earlier, I do really want to take my hat off to the writer and his ability to write for the young people in this.
I agree.
He is genius with it. And I said to Mark, didn't I? I said, God, what I want from this writer, I want him to write a series...
For the younger generation.
For the younger generation. The actors are stupendous.
I'd be interested to know how old the writer is, because it feels like he's writing above his age. I feel like these are all caricatures of people my age, our age, that...
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's someone in his sort of early 30s or late 20s writing something for... If he's in his 50s or 60s, he needs to get a life. Anyway...
I'm going to look it up. What's the name
I just feel
of
that you can see... I don't know, Wanderlust writer. I just feel you can see so many things coming a mile off. I mean, I literally mean the word coming in a literal sense.
We would literally be going, oh no, I know what's going to happen.
And then you've got this whole sort of subplot going on with her being a therapist, and one of her patients is...
That's him.
Is it? Let's have a look.
He's not that young.
He's not that young, is he?
He looks like us, Mark.
Yeah. He looks fed up.
He does look really
he looks really fed up and exhausted. Maybe he's been out too
Look,
much.
what he says, everyone is sexually frustrated.
Well, I tell you, clearly he looks sexually frustrated. I know it's terrible to kind of comment on the way
Please,
he looks, but
Nick Payne, write for a young,
Right, Grange Hill.
Grange
she
Hill,
said.
a bit further on,
Yeah.
a bit older, because, oh my God, we like this. And literally, aren't we?
I think the ratings are falling off a cliff, though. I think the viewers
Another
are
one we
turning
really
off.
want to give.
Are you turning off or are you turned on?
Yeah, are you turning off? We really want to give a heads up to the headmistress. Again, really well written.
Deputy
Nick
head,
Payne,
she
brilliant.
was so good.
And she's so funny. I set him
She's
up.
so good.
If Mike Lee was watching this now, he'd write a film for her.
I want to write a film for her. She's so good. I mean, she literally... The problem with it all is that I'm not believing any... I don't believe any of them.
That's the problem.
And to begin with, I was willing to go there because, okay, it's not something I'd want to do necessarily, but I was willing to go there with them. But now we're there with them, I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Why were you looking in my ear?
Sorry, because I wondered what was in it.
Oh,
but
nice. Literally, I saw you totally zone out. There's a little bit of something in an ear. It's just terrible.
It's awful. Happens to me sometimes on Loose Women when I'm interviewing somebody.
What about?
And I start looking at
their
their skin
ear?
really
What
close.
about-
I'm on
I know,
telly.
you wonder why
Shut
I
up,
do
Nadia.
that
You
all the
can't
time.
do that.
What about Paul Kay? Texting us saying his dad's dead. Then, oh God, this is the other
bowling.
thing. Temping bowling.
The bowling was so
Right,
cringe.
can I just say that scenes like the
my
Temping
God.
Bowling reminded me of my first ever job in television where you were racking your brain for subjects and places to film people doing things. I think one was flying a kite, one was in a Temping Bowling. If I ever see Temping Bowling unless it's the Big Lebowski, I just think desperate. Temping Bowling, not good. Don't like Temping Bowling. Stop looking at I know what you're looking at now.
No, I was just thinking
You're
about
staring.
something.
Am I looking like Stephen McIntosh?
No, you look really good.
Oh my gosh, you keep
I
saying
was
how
just thinking
hideous
I'd
he is.
quite fancy you.
Oh, should we go off then and do? Anyway, so Paul Kay can't stand that whole line. But what about the patient?
And again, it was too contrived, like you say. Oh, we'll go off and we play bowling. It's just like life isn't really like that. At one point, I was stuck in the dishwasher while I was watching it, and I went, for God's sake, this woman's got 3 kids, she's got a job, she's got a house to run, she's got a husband, she's got a lover. Who has time to just go off and play bowling? Nobody. Not of our age. We don't do that sort of stuff.
And as if I wasn't finding it all so
I'm so angry.
impossible to believe. Well, there are shows that make you angry because
Yeah,
you
this
think
is one.
loads of people are probably sat around in an edit suite chatting away about how great this is. Now, that's not to say that the original idea wasn't
And we
sound.
fully respect your opinion.
Yeah. But it feels like everyone's got tickets on themselves.
Tickets on themselves.
And
And if you've joined us for the first time on our YouTube channel, please understand we don't review like this all the time. We are very, very...
This is episode 4. We've been with it. We've gone with it.
No, all the time. We're quite measured and quite thoughtful, but today it's just like...
Well, and at the point where I thought, I think I've been giving this more of a chance than Nadia. I felt there was some potential.
Dare you
No,
say
right
that?
at the beginning, when you were like, "Ugh," I was like, no, hang on.
Yeah, but now you've come round to my way of thinking.
Well, I've not only come around to your way of thinking. Then we have the lesbian child of
I
Toni
said
Collette.
that was going to happen. When she tried the cake, I said her child is going to have an affair with the cake maker next door. I said it.
But here's my point about the chips,
Trampoline.
the fish and chips, and the fish and chips, and then the trampoline. I mean, we're looking at Temping Bowling, fish and chips, trampoline.
Stereotypes all over the place.
They do things like that.
Oh, the child in me was found bouncing with the lesbian daughter of the shrink that lives next door, and now I am free once again. We're going to have to watch them have sex next week. I hope you realise that.
Oh, don't. Well, there was a warning before this episode, and I think that was a little bit cynical, Mr. and Mrs.
Come
BBC.
on, BBC.
There was nothing to warn us about. If you were warning us this time, you should have warned us last week.
That was because we kept going, oh, what's the...
Yeah,
well,
what's waiting? Trying to hold us there. Then there was a suicide story where Toni Collette we introduced. Now, here's the thing.
Very weakly done.
Well, yeah, very weakly done, and I thought very sort of band-aidy done. Whereas actually, if you park thoughts like that much earlier on in the series, it would give you a bit of humanity to the one. Because the problem I've got is I don't care.
You had a child that died.
Did we? I didn't know that.
Is this series or something else?
I don't know. I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, do you know what I mean? I mean, my problem is I don't care about Stephen McIntosh and I don't care about Toni Collette at all. As far as I'm concerned, they've got everything coming to them.
We care about the actors. You've got to say, because people think we're talking about the actors.
No, the parts that they're playing, not the actors.
No, she did. It does say earlier. We said last week that she'd lost a child.
But anyway, I don't care about the characters. Of course, I care about the actors. I love the actors. I love Toni Collette, and my mum keeps telling me that Stephen McIntosh is lovely, and from what I can see, he is.
Oh, and he's a good actor.
He's a good actor, but I'm telling you now, the characters, they're cardboard cutouts, and yet it thinks that they're
Well,
really
Maddie
sophisticated.
said, if you're new to the channel, you don't know our daughter Maddie, who's 15. She sat down and watched it for about 4 minutes, and she said, "There's something gone wrong with the directing here."
Yeah, she did. Yeah, within
She
10
said
minutes.
it was the director.
And here's the thing: what do you do when you're being traumatized by a suicide story? Your marriage is in tatters, and you're in a very confusing not love triangle, but a love
Quadruple?
or love square.
Square.
If you're talking about angles.
Help, I'm in a love square.
I'm in a love square. They're in a love square, or maybe even a rectangle. A love rectangle, or a love parallelogram. I always love that word. Anyway, what's the answer? You dress up as Madonna and
To
Adam
find
Ant.
yourself, because your shrink has suggested, who are you?
Who are you really?
Who are you really? Which that point I wanted to throw up. It was so obvious.
So we then go to an 80s party where, of course, the best thing to do therapeutically, because of course she's a therapist, is to share the absolute nature of everything you're doing at your husband's fundraising do. And so, Christ, are we getting going now?
I'm shot.
What's all this talk?
That says Mother Flosser if it's distracting you.
That's not the Mother Flosser bit that's distracting me. Show us again. Yeah, so what do you do in a therapeutic funk? You share it with the entire school.
Oh my God, I'd forgotten about that bit.
As Madonna.
Oh my God, you've got to watch it. Just watch it for that.
My armpit's still wet.
You know what? I'm really mindful here that we're coming across bitchy. We are not. We passionately mean this and believe this, and we've been kinder than we wanted to be.
Watch our first 3 reviews of this. I have been really working hard at finding those kernels of truth.
Because
this
we
for
love
me was
the
the
arts.
weakest episode.
We love writers, directors, actors. We always want to support programs.
Absolutely.
And we do when we believe in them. And we've stuck with this, and we will watch it till the end. But there's something gone very wrong here.
I mean, I have been in so many edit suites in my life, obviously with documentaries, not drama so much, and people just come in and they tear your programme to bits. It's part of what being a programme maker is, so you can make a better programme. But this was frustratingly bad. And so we build to yet another sort of conclusion of, will they, won't they? Is he in love with the woman Claire, the woman that he's with? Is Toni Collette's character, she can't find love. Now that, for me, again, each episode keeps finishing at the point where I think it's about to get interesting. The point at which, they both decided on an open relationship, one can find love, the other can't. What happens there? That's a genuinely interesting dilemma. But within the context of this, I also think your thing, which you said about another series we watched, they've got too many storylines going along. There's a real sort of almost fear that unless you just focus on 1, 2 or 3, you could really just live with her and him and whatever they're doing and the kids. And I think the strength would be the parallel of 2 generations and how they deal with it, and how, ironically, there's more tenderness in that relationship in the kids. Here's what I would have thought this was going to go to. Sorry, no, because at a moment, again, I keep being favourable. I thought, this is nice. What we're going to see in the young boy and his relationship with the friend that's now blossoming, we're going to see what they originally had, and then it'll become quite a philosophical thought on how all love changes across time. That gives me goosebumps. I've given myself goosepimples for the programme I've made.
Now.
I've turned myself on, you've turned me on, and what do you do when you're turned on? We go and find 3 other people and have fun. That's my
our daughter
girlfriend.
at the door. No, hang on. No, don't turn off. So please welcome to the channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've visited us many times. But please, we will always say this because we love to get extra subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know when we're putting content out. Because we put an awful lot
She really
of
wants
stuff
me,
up.
so I'm out of here.
Bye. Guys.